I'm a huge advocate of the pre-list home inspections because they work, okay? And you're seeing more and more of this. When we were on a commercial break, you were telling me roughly what, 10% or so of your clientele are now sellers?
Yeah, that's true, and that's a little bit of a departure. We've been doing this for over a decade now, and years ago, we would hardly ever get somebody hiring us to inspect a house that they were going to sell. The old kind of wisdom on it was people would just be like, yeah, well, we'll sell the house. We'll let the buyer come in, do their inspection. We're expecting that they're probably going to find some stuff that they're going to want to negotiate, and we'll figure it out when we get there.
One of the major reasons why we have our sellers do it is for financing. So, Mike, what are some of the things that would inhibit financing on a home inspection report that we can fix?
And some of the things that come up pretty often are safety concerns, such as missing handrails, fire egress on a multifamily specifically, a roof that maybe has less than 2 years of serviceability remaining, heating systems that don't function properly, and then just in general safety items like sometimes exposed electrical wires and things like that. Anytime an appraiser identifies something as an issue, the buyer then is unable to obtain that loan because the appraiser has an issue that needs to be resolved.
If you can't afford something and if you disclose it, okay, and if you price your home appropriately, the buyer cannot come at you for that. Now, it still may inhibit certain types of financing, but we can also look for other types of financing like a 203K.
A 203K inspection, basically what you're doing is, this is usually a house that needs some repairs, and the buyer at this point is financing both the house and they're financing the repairs. So the lender's going to keep the money for those repairs in escrow. There's a little paperwork, and the paperwork depends on what level of repairs going on with the house. But this lets the buyer get into a house that probably is in disrepair, that maybe they don't have the cash to do the repairs right now, but they can finance those repairs. And as long as the whole value still works from the lender's standpoint, then it is really a good program for somebody, especially somebody shopping at a certain price point. The other items I listed, a couple of minutes ago are generic for most appraisers. Now, those type of programs, because of the high percentage, like 100 of the financing, they have even more requirements and things that are going to come up. Now, those things include peeling paint, missing handrails, wood destroying insect presence, and those certainly will be part of an inspection if we did it for a potential seller. But a seller really needs to know at that point if those items are present in the house, then basically they're not going to be able to sell it to anybody that's using those financing unless it's one of those coupled with the renovation loan like we were talking about.
You're right. And one of the costs that for sale by owners don't think about, aside from the loss on sales price that they're going to get, by doing it for sale by owner, is the holding costs. There's so many factors in selling your own home and selling a home, period, even with a realtor, that you really want to make sure that all of your I's are dotted, T's are crossed. You need, the professionals with the network, with the home inspectors, with everybody else that can give you the right advice to sell your house at a premium, especially in this market.
People are afraid to disclose things. And these pre-list inspections are coming up, and they're becoming more and more popular. And I can't stress it enough. If they just tell people exactly what's wrong with their house, even if it's a perceived big item, that's okay. You price it accordingly, and then it takes it off the negotiation table, and it really makes the whole process so much less stressful.